Hi, I am Angel Ribo with Mindalia TV, and we are blessed to have today with us Rabbi Rami. Hi, how are you?
Angel, nice to be here. I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you very much. It's a pleasure to have you here. I would like to start our conversation asking you, what is that thing that you are most passionate about?
Oh, that thing? One thing?
That one thing.
Okay, the one thing I'm most passionate about is getting religion out of the hands of professionals and back into the hearts of people. That's the one thing.
Okay, let me ask you a silly question then. Who are the religion professionals?
So I think that people who, and I'm one of them, I mean, I'm an ordained rabbi, but I think that people who are trained in a specific religious tradition are often in a box. And they lose, in order to maintain that box, they work on the surface. And the mystical depth is where the heart of it is, and where the meat of it is, and where the value of it is. And oftentimes clergy don't go there. For lots of reasons, and not even bad reasons, but they just don't go there. I'm interested in going there. I'm interested in opening up what's called the perennial wisdom tradition, the 4 basic points at the heart of mysticism, regardless whether it's Catholic or Protestant, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu, whatever it is. So that's what I'm passionate about, is opening the religions up. And the people who open it up are people that I call Holly Rascals.
Holly Rascals?
Holy Rascals.
Wow,
yeah.
I like the term. And how do you personally stay out of that box?
Well, one of the things I do is I study with teachers in different religions who are on the mystical end. So most of my teachers are deceased now, but I've worked very closely with a woman who was initiating me into the Divine Mother worship. I've worked closely with a Hindu Swami who initiated me into the Ramakrishna order of Vedanta Hinduism. I work with Father Thomas Keating. He's the one teacher who's still alive. He's in his mid-90s with my Catholic training. So I find teachers who are on the contemplative end, the mystical end of their religious traditions, holy rascals in their specific tradition, who will then take me there and say, look, there's another way of looking at this, not just the Jewish way. So I keep myself involved in a variety of religious traditions, even though my root tradition is Judaism.
How do you find those holy rascals?
That's a good question. I don't know. I stumble across them. You can find them at different conferences sometimes, but mostly it's word of mouth. Someone says, have you studied with, or have you read something, or have you, and especially if it's people who are in the box and upset by what they've read by someone else. Then I go, I want to know that person. If that person is poking the standard bearer and making them uncomfortable, I want to know who that person is, because I want to also make them uncomfortable. So that people can, one of the problems with religion is we take it too seriously. We take it literally. And it shouldn't be taken either way. Religion is, I would say, religion is made by humans, and we could make it better, and we could make it more fun, and we could make it more humorous, because humor is a way to get to that open heart. And those of us who are trained to be serious religious professionals, we've lost our sense of humor oftentimes with regard to our tradition, and certainly with regard to others.
What's the role of acceptance in all that you do?
So, to be that, what I call a holy rascal, is to have infinite curiosity and boundless compassion for what people believe. So we're at a conference where I don't have the experiences that 99% of the people have here. I don't talk to angels, I don't see auras, I don't necessarily believe in any of that. But I'm not interested in whether it's true or false. I'm interested in where it takes that person as far as opening their heart, opening their mind. One of the things I delighted in doing while I'm here is asking people who are, there's several people whose guru claims to be Maitreya Buddha, so the Buddha for the next age. But there can only be one, and there's 2 here at the conference. So I ask them, how do you know yours is right and the other person is wrong? And just to see if I can get them to question a little bit their own certainty. And mostly they can't, but that's what I'm interested in. is I have compassion for them going through whatever they're going through that leads them to latch onto a specific belief. And I'm curious about what their belief is. I'm not in any way threatened, because I just don't believe the universe is the way most people seem to think it is. So one of the ways that you can cultivate acceptance is this Hindu practice called neti neti, not this, not that. And the idea is whatever the reality is, whatever truth with a capital T is, you can't reduce it to some idea that you can put in a box or promote as a religion or sell, as a product. So what you do in the neti neti practice is every time you're holding an idea, you just remind yourself, neti neti, it's not that. All these ideas can be fingers, fingers pointing toward the moon. That's a Zen phrase. But we mistake the moon for the finger, and we end up, giving each other the finger and focusing on the finger. But neti neti says, it's not this finger, it's not that finger, it's not the other finger. It's always just beyond what you and I can grasp with our minds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So in today's world, I think that, we run so fast that probably we don't have time to just relax, rest, be still, and decide, we believe in this religion, those are our beliefs, but what about our neighbors? So do you think that, the concept of the Holly Rascals could also be a way to bring everybody together?
Well, I do, because when we have gatherings of people who are that kind of mindset, what I call the Holly Rascal mindset, they're not looking for answers. They want to know your questions. They want to know what are you searching for? What have you found, maybe? But more importantly, why does that resonate with you? That's where that infinite curiosity comes in, and that boundless compassion. It's not like, oh, I feel so sorry for you, you accepted this stupid thing. That's not what we're interested in. It's what are the questions that are driving you? What are the issues that are haunting you? Because we all have them. So, and how are you dealing with it? And the more I understand, your questions and what you found that helps you, the more I understand you, and the more I actually understand myself. Because I think deep down, I've got the same questions. But you may articulate them differently than I do. You may hold them in a way that never occurred to me that would enrich my own life. So it's, for us, a gathering is not of like-minded people, but just open-minded people.
Have you talked to the leaders of some churches and shared your ideas and share your concepts with them? Have you done that?
Well, I don't know what you mean by leaders exactly. I've taught with His Holiness the Dalai Lama, but we haven't talked about this. I was invited to Rome years ago to talk about my understanding of the Holy Mother, but I dealt with leaderships of an order of nuns, not with the Pope, So I haven't talked to anyone at the Pope's level. I'm not sure they would be interested in what I have to say. But when I talk to lay people in any religious tradition, and even many clergy, even though I said clergy are often in the box, there's a lot who aren't. When I've managed to have a conversation with those kinds of people, they resonate right away. And you could find them because there's dialogue already between Catholics and Buddhists and Hindus and Jews, all this kind of thing. So you look to see where the conversation is already happening. And those people, unless they're there to proselytize and to convert, and then it's not a conversation. But if they're really there for a conversation, then they're open to changing. And again, I'm not trying to change you. I just want to investigate with you what it is we're all talking about. And ultimately, because I do have an ultimate goal, realize that you can't put it in words. I mean, the most important tagline, maybe, in all of religion is the opening line of the Tao Te Ching, where Lao Tzu says thousands of years ago, the Tao that can be named is not the eternal Tao. And so Tao in this case could mean God, it could mean anything, but it's the God or the reality that you can name and number and make an organization around is not the eternal Tao. So you can, I'm Jewish, I'm happy to be Jewish. I enjoy the Jewish mythology and the practices and all of that. But I don't think that reality is Jewish. That's Jewish is just a name. I have to get beyond the name.
How could we use, a good sense of humor to try to be less judgmental on a daily basis?
Humor is the key, because for a couple of reasons. But when I see the absurdity of what I'm saying, and it makes me laugh, the laughter itself, it's a kind of meditation. My Zen master, Joshu Sasaki Roshi, who's deceased, died in, I think he was 106. And he lived outside of Los Angeles at Mount Baldy Zen Center. He told me once at a Zen retreat he was running, he said, meditation is fine, but if you could just get up in the morning, sit on the edge of your bed and laugh. And at first it's fake, right? You're forcing it. But eventually you actually start to laugh naturally. And he said, just laugh until the tears run down your face, and then you're done for the day. Because laughter changes the way you breathe, it changes the oxygen, the chemicals in your brain, and it shifts the way your brain is functioning, and it allows new thoughts to come in, and it washes out the silliness. So laughter is crucial. And one of the ways you can engage in that is to take some of the things that religions say and just tweak them. So, for example, let me see if I can think of something off the top of my head. So, in the Zen tradition, one of the first koan you get, one of the first puzzles you have to wrestle with, is, does a dog have Buddha nature? So it's a question like, does a dog have a soul, or I don't know what,
Yep.
Does a dog have Buddha nature? So my response to that many years ago was, that's the wrong question. The question is it the Buddha's nature to have a dog? That's what I really care about. Does he love dogs? So you can flip these things, and they're not an attack. At least I hope they're not an attack. I don't mean them as an attack. But you flip them, people laugh just the way, just that little chuckle. You laugh, it just is an opening to how serious should I take this? Now Zen is easier because they're not that serious
Yep.
in the way I'm speaking about it. But you can do that with almost any religion. And in my book, Holly Rascals, I have chapters of tweaking of classic New Age sayings, classic spiritual sayings, and just turn them inside out. Not to denigrate the teaching, because they're often valuable teachings, but just to say, don't cling to this. Neti. It's not it.
Excellent. How are you doing it so that your message and the concept of the Holly Rascals gets spread all over the place? What are you doing?
Well, number one, if it spreads, it spreads. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not trying to create a world religion and get lots of members and followers. I don't want to be a guru or anything like that. So what I'm doing is I'm starting very small. Near the end of March, we're going to have our first Holy Rascal ordination training. It's a one-day thing, because it's just about how to have an open heart and how to have fun with your religious tradition. But we're actually going to ordain people, because in the United States, as I understand it, and my lawyers tell me it's true, because I have a 501c3 corporation, we are registered as a religious institution, and that we can ordain people. And what that means, they can do weddings if they comply with the laws of their state. So we're inviting people to come to that. We're doing it in Nashville, and then a couple months later in Atlanta. But that's just to work the kinks out. And eventually we'll put it on our website, oneriverfoundation.org. And people can take it. And I think we might just do it for $10 or do it for free, or just to invite people to learn the basic tools of being a Holy Rascal. And if they like it and they buy the book or they share the book with someone else, it'll spread. And if it does, that's great. And if it doesn't,
awesome.
It doesn't really matter.
How many Holy Rascals are you going to have? Do you know?
My estimate is somewhere around 20 million. No, I'm kidding.
Wow. You need a big venue. Venue.
Yeah, that would be pretty good. No, I have no idea.
It's going to be fun then.
I think it's going to be fun. Yeah. I'm almost 67 years old. If it isn't fun, I'm not doing it. Right? I don't want to do anything that isn't actually meaningful, but also has to be fun.
Excellent. I would like to finish our conversation today with a piece of advice that you would like to share with our audience. So we have millions of viewers all over the world. So whatever you would like, obviously, with many different religions that are listening to us and watching us every day. So please, if you were so kind.
So I would say this to all of you. Say, number one, don't argue with your religion. Don't make it your enemy. Every religion has this mystical heart that will feed your soul if you go deep enough into it. So if you're struggling with your faith and your clergy isn't speaking to you, find another member of your faith who is. You don't have to leave your religion to find this wonderful mystic core that all of them have. That's number one. Number two, don't take any of it so seriously that it closes your mind, closes your heart, closes your hands into fists, and you want to defend it or fight for it. It's not like that. So practice that neti. Just, it's not this, it's not that. Every path can take you, will ultimately, if you go deep enough, take you to that mystic heart. But to cling to a path means you've stopped moving. So you have to constantly let go and see where, what's the next step for you.
Excellent. Well, so Rabbi Rami, thank you. Thank you very much for being with us today. It's been a pleasure.
My pleasure, Angel. This was fun.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you very much. Again, this is Angel Ribo with Mindalia TV, and thank you very much for being with us today.